Well, Sunday afternoon on One resounds to the sounds of a distant trumpet at 3 o'clock when Troy Donahue, as a U.S. cavalryman dispatched to the Wild West straight from West Point, discovers he has to contend with much more than the threat of attack by Indians, namely Suzanne Pleshette. Now, on BBC One, it might be a good idea to have pen and paper handy for a number of useful addresses and telephone numbers to be given out. In Lifeline, with Cliff Mitchellmore and Lynette Lithgow.
Hello, welcome to Lifeline, the programme that brings you the latest charity news. With me in the studio, as usual, is Lynette Lithgow.
Hello. Exactly 1 year ago on Lifeline, we appealed for funds on behalf of AMREF, the African Medical and Research Foundation, which identifies the health needs of the rural populations of Eastern Africa and develops low-cost healthcare programmes to meet those needs. Thanks to your generosity, over £8,000 was raised, and the charity tell us that they've used the money to found a medical outreach programme in Tanzania. Through the Flying Doctor Service, this now gives vital support to a number of district hospitals, which in most cases can offer no surgical or other specialised services.
Monday, May the 21st, marks the start of a special Epilepsy Week when the National Society for Epilepsy, a leading medical research, educational and residential care charity, is aiming to dispel some of the myths surrounding the disorder. Many sufferers are reluctant to admit that they have epilepsy because it's thought of as a condition that cannot be controlled. In fact, most people can control their fits with drugs. A poster campaign with an epilepsy information line will be part of the drive during Epilepsy Week, and its main message is that epilepsy is a neurological condition, not a mental illness, that can affect people of any age. There are more than 300,000 sufferers in Britain, including over 50,000 children. If you'd like more information, you can call 024 07 3991. That's 024 07 3991.
Throughout June, thousands of people will be setting off from London, Birmingham and Manchester to take part in 3 bicycle rides. They're not races, you don't have to be fit, you just pedal along at your own pace. Each ride promises to be a fun-filled day out, and through sponsorship, the organisers hope to raise £2 million for the British Heart Foundation. Heart disease is still Britain's biggest killer. Over 120,000 people die prematurely from heart and circulatory disease every year. The foundation funds research, education and the provision of cardiac care equipment. Part of the money raised this year will be used to set up vital rehabilitation projects in UK hospitals. If you'd like more information about the rides, you can contact Granada Wheel Appeal on 0225 310 859. That's 0225 310 859.
And finally, in our charity news spot, Mencap, the Royal Society for the Mentally Handicapped Children and Adults, are holding 6 horseless horse trials at locations around the country during 1990. Teams are being recruited now, and this exciting fundraising scheme involves over 1,000 people per event, many of them in fancy dress, scrambling over obstacles designed to be tackled on the back of a horse.
The first team events take place on Sunday, May the 27th at Windsor Great Park. Later in the summer, horseless trials will also take place at Leeds, Bath, Derby, Leamington Spa and Surrey. So why not think about getting a team together? For more information, call 071 253 9433. That's 071 253 9433.
This month's Lifeline Appeal is presented by Sir David Attenborough on behalf of the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust.
Wetlands like these, all across Britain, are home to many kinds of wildfowl. From the mallards that you might find in a city park, to these rare lesser white-fronted geese from Siberia. But human beings are destroying the wetlands at an alarming rate. threatening both the wildfowl and the wider environment they help to support. Here at Slimbridge, near Gloucester, the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust has its headquarters. This marvellous wetland site not only offers a sanctuary to migrating swans and geese and ducks, but also holds a great collection of tame exotic wildfowl. The organisation was established in 1946 by naturalist and wildlife painter Sir Peter Scott, who died last year.
He liked to think of the Trust as one of his children. Enabling people to see birds at close quarters is a prime objective of the Trust, and Peter believed that conservation begins this way. The need for us to continue his work is greater now than ever.
Today, the Trust has 8 sites all over the British Isles, from Castle Espy in Northern Ireland to Arundel in Sussex.
The track record of the Trust is very impressive. The Hawaiian geese would certainly be extinct by now had it not been for the fact that Sir Peter Scott brought back 3 birds, and the Trust has bred over 2,000 of them by now, and we've also sent back at least 200 back to the wild in Hawaii.
Counting and recording the numbers of wild birds is a basic research tool.
Right, there's one there on the left, APK.
But to be really effective with our conservation measures, we need to follow individual birds, and this of course we do by ringing. Once we know the traffic flow, so to speak, we know where to put in the service stations, our reserves or sanctuaries where the birds can graze in the winter or breed in the summer. When we ring the Buick swans, we also X-ray them. And we discover that even though these swans are protected in every country that they pass through, an astonishing 40% are carrying lead gunshot in their flesh. So there's a lot to be done still.
The Swan Lake is at the heart of Slimbridge, where visitors can observe the wild birds from behind one-way glass. In spring, the Buick swans leave for the cooler climes of Siberia, but the better weather brings visitors flocking to the centre. Have you seen these plants here? Have a look. And now tell me, who can recognise a plant there? Which one can you recognise? Get away. That's a marshmallow. What is that one? What's that one? A reed, that's right. Some people call it a bulrush too.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you seen the babies? Have you seen the ducklings?
They're quite fast.
What?
They're fast.
Oh, they are?